any person, no matter what size, what color, gender, you can't do it, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't.
Anything of what we do here is not easy, but you have to want it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the FYI podcast, where we find our inspiration and we follow it. I'm here with the team of the Camp Downey. This is a gym that I come to, I love, and this gym has changed many, many lives. It has, it does, and it will continue to change lives. So we're going to kind of go down the line today. It's an exciting episode. We're starting off with Robert Hernandez, who's the owner of the Camp Downey, La Mirada, and Bell. And we're going to kind of just find out what inspired him to open a gym, specifically a transformation gym. This is a place where we come in, we're welcomed at home by a friendly staff, by a family, and by members that have and or experience the same situation. So let's get it started. We're at the Camp Downey. Robert, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Thank you for jumping on the podcast, man. I'm excited to have you.
No problem. Yeah, so I'll start from the very beginning. Back in April of 2014, I was working at my father's restaurant. During that time frame, he lost the business. I was there working since I was 12 years old. I started working there. And so, I have my wife, my two kids. It was a tough time for me. So I ended up getting my real estate license months prior and was trying to make ends meet there. But, I was just getting started into that. And, I was driving Lyft, Uber, just doing whatever I could to support my family. So it wasn't until about a year later, in February of 2015, a buddy of mine came up to me and asked me, hey, there's this gym I go to. It's called The Camp. And, I lost over 40 pounds there. And he's like, you got to check it out. I'd like to open up, maybe we can do this together. And I said, okay, well, maybe I can go through it because I was overweight myself. And, I joined the camp in Chino at that time and lost like 21 pounds. And it was very inspiring because during that time, I've been coaching my son baseball team since he was 5. And so I see all the dads my age, they struggle, to be out there. And so for me, it wasn't about, looking with getting a six pack, being all muscular, like these meatheads or whatnot. I just wanted to be healthy. I just wanted to be healthy and be able to throw the ball around with my son.
Right.
It's all about health.
Sure.
So, got through that. And then 2 months later, we were able to open the first LA County camp, which was in Pico Rivera. And it was amazing because a month prior, we hadn't even opened the doors yet, and people were just flocking, coming to us, and it's been a life-changing experience for me and my family.
How does that feel to know that you and your team play such a close part in elevating someone's life in such an important way?
Yeah, no, these are real people. I do feel that we change lives on a daily here, right? I like to say that we are like the Disneyland of gyms, right? The minute you walk in that door, we already know your name. It's not like your typical gym where you walk in and nobody knows you, right? You just check in and they kind of just beep you in and nobody knows who they are, right? Here we know their names, their first and last names. They're high-fiving as they come in and, it takes, the way we operate is we take the thinking out of, most people that go to a normal gym, they don't know what they're doing. So, it's a really exciting gym, and what we do here to help people to lose weight and be a healthier version of themselves.
I love that. How do you vet your trainers?
Some of them will come from within the camp. They end up losing the weight, getting into real good shape, and now they aspire to be a trainer. And so then we help them to get certified and all that. And then some of the trainers will come from the outside. They already have the certifications.
Awesome. All right, with that, let's segue over. We got Lay.
What's up?
One of the trainers. She's Lay, you've been here since I started. So
yes.
You were one of the first trainers that I ever trained with. I had done a transformation, lost 115 pounds and gained it back due to an injury. A little bit of laziness and liking to eat. But anyways, Lay has been here the whole time.
Yeah.
So she's an incredible trainer. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like Paul said, my name's Lay. I've been a trainer here at the camp for about 6 years now, I believe. Started off as a camper with my mom at that gym he was at before in Pico, because we were residents in Pico. We grew up in Pico Rivera. And my mom was laid off her job. I had just finished college basketball. I was kind of going through, like, kind of want to do something more. And we seen this gym, and I was like, all right, like, Mom, let's go ahead and try it out. And I know my mom was going through a little bit, so we went to go check out this gym. And once we did, I fell in love with it. And I knew a couple of people there that I went to high school with. So they were like, oh, like, just come down this train. And I was probably there for like 4 weeks and became a trainer right after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now I know you're doing something else that's incredible. I'm really proud of you, by the way. Tell us a little bit about, you just went through a certification.
Yeah, I just went through like a fire academy training because I want to pursue my career and to become a firefighter. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to ask, digging a little in that, what was that like, especially as a female and as a woman, strong and pushing through? I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of like this like stigma, I guess you can say. I mean, day zero, that's what we call like day zero. First day there, pretty much. We started there with 3 girls. And within the second week, or about like 4th week, I could say, I was the only girl left with about like 46 guys.
wow.
But this training really showed me, like, it's like a brotherhood. All these guys at the end of the day, this intense training, they rely on me. I have their back. They have my back. And I think I'm going to remember them for the rest of my life.
Nice. I love that.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
thank you so much.
It's just pushing through, staying positive and going. So congrats, and thanks for setting
Thank you
that
so
example
much.
for other people out there. The beauty of fitness is you're in complete control, and in any other careers you do, right? Like in the business I'm in of filmmaking, it's you're not in control of anything, to be honest. Actors are not in control. It's like you're in control of your craft and like how talented how much work you put in, but there's so many people, there's buffers that decide if you get the job, if you're going to be on that show, if you're going to get the contract to direct that movie. But with fitness, nobody could control nothing. I control what goes in my body. I control how much work I put in. So with that, I know comes, I battle, I have a food addiction, so I'm up and down in weight, always have been. How do you navigate your own emotions when you're working with somebody and you see that they're their own enemy and they're not following the simple plan that you're providing for them? How do you stay positive, and what's your work to get through to them to kind of still keep them motivated to not hate themselves and not leave and keep coming back?
I guess I can go based off what you said right now. If it's frustrating, it could be frustrating sometimes to see people because, like, we're like a family here. So I have a lot of people on social media making their bad decisions with their food, or just coming in here and not giving their 100%. And I see it day in and day out, every shift that I am here. And it could be frustrating, but on my end, I try to give everyone the extra push, bring the energy for them during class, and then even just like hold them accountable, even if it's on social media, because a lot of people I'm really cool with.
No, I love that. Yeah, and I have Destiny to the right of me. Destiny runs this whole baby here. She keeps everything moving, all the pieces going. She manages the Camp Downey. Downey, not Bell and Lama. Oh, all 3. Yeah. She's running all 3. Even more impressive. I thought it was just Downey. So, okay, we got to jump into that. How the heck do you do that? How do you manage 3 different gyms?
It's definitely great. Well, hi, I'm Destiny. I've been with the camp for about 6 years. I started from the absolute bottom, right? So I started as a front desk, very part-time, right? Thinking like I would never be where I'm at as a director, manager, or whatever. I thought, this is just my job while I'm playing like college softball, I'm cool. After a while, I had transferred universities, so I came back home and then kind of started to take this a little more serious. And as time went on, I kind of moved up the ladder. So I obviously wouldn't be able to do without all 3 of them, because they do help me in like the in-house, like day-to-day things. Because obviously I'm only one person and can only be everywhere at once.
Sounds to me like we have a future camp owner coming. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. I mean, from what I understand, any entrepreneur, any great leader was once a follower. So the fact that you started at the entry level and you have your hands in every single position, that's incredible. That's a major accomplishment, and it sounds like major leadership skills. So
yeah, what can I do without Robert? So.
Robert's like, hey. Well, hey, retirement may come at one time, and that's how you breed up, right?
Absolutely.
The successors. So with you, I want to talk about your employees. Okay. How do you navigate keeping employees happy and balanced, and also having a friendly relationship as well, because you guys seem like you all are friends. At least that's the feel I get coming in. Yeah. And is that true?
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like, I guess, very cool, right? So I like to think that I'm a young manager. I did start off like my management-ish career with the camp, I think when I was like 22 or like 21. Wow. Because I have been working here since I was like 19 years old, and now I'm 25. I feel
so old.
I feel like I'm going through a quarter life crisis. But with that being said, I think like keeping the energy very like youthful and young, and I think just practice what we preach. And I always tell all of the staff, like what we do to the exterior, which is like the clients, is what we need to do to the interior. Like the way we treat the clients is the way we want to treat each other. Since I was 19, I've had a lot of growing pains, I'm not going to lie, but I think with growth, maturity, and kind of just accepting and being coachable all the way through, and kind of being able to take that constructive criticism and turning it around, and having results from all that, I think that's definitely helped me grow. All of us have one common goal, right? And our common goal here is to help people be successful. And I think that's what brings us together.
So let's jump over to Isabel. Hi. Isabel, tell us about yourself. Same, kind of where you're from, where you grew up, and how you came to be part of the camp, and what you do at the camp.
Okay, so my name is Isabel. I'm the assistant director here. I was raised here in Downey. And I found my way through the camp actually through my mom. She did a 6-week challenge. For the most part, she started coming here right when Downey opened, and she did 2 challenges. The second one, she invited me in to come with her. I did a 6-week challenge, and I eventually became a member here. I was just in high school when I did my first challenge, so it was really good to see me kind of go through that transformation process. When you're in high school, you're not really feeling secure about yourself. You're going through so many changes, and the camp kind of let me take control over that, because I was putting healthier foods in my body. I was working out more consistently, and I started off from the bottom like Destiny. I was front desk, and eventually worked on to being assistant director. I've also got my certification in training, so I can kind of fit into many shoes here, and I've gotten to love the members and also my coworkers as well.
I love it. How do you remember everybody that comes in? I mean, it's not like you don't look at a picture. Like you guys are like, hey, what's up, Joe? Hey, what's up, Paul? How do you do that?
So one thing that's really important is when we first onboard any employee, like one of the main principles of training is that we're giving name tags to everyone that walks in the door. And when they're punching in their phone number, they're receiving a name tag. So it easily clicks with the person. Once they come in through the door, we can kind of already like remember, okay, I'm gonna start writing this person's name. I know who they are. And the conversations that we have when they first walk in, it's easy to just put that face on the person that's walking in, because we're not just like walking through the front desk and all right, bye.
Right. I like that. I never thought of that method. I know you guys do the name tag thing, but that makes sense because it makes a huge difference. Let me just tell you guys, when we walk in and you know our name, it makes a huge,
more approachable,
way more family. So I want to shift, Robert. How does this feel to hear all this? Like, you're a guy who was working out in Chino. You got 3 gyms with a lot of staff and a lot of members, right, but you got these incredible people sitting in front of me. You have personally affected each one of their lives. How does that feel?
It's very rewarding, very exciting. My success is based on their success. So, I like to always say, I've been coaching baseball for so many years. We have 9 kids on a team, right? And so we're only as good as our weakest link. If you could have all 9 performing, now you got a solid team. Same thing applies to any business or here at the camp. So we want everybody, hearing all these success stories is amazing because, my success is based on their success, and I want all of them performing.
Yeah. Let's get a little deeper in this podcast is really meant for inspiration and motivation. Personally, the reason I created this podcast with this company was I came out of the military. I didn't join the military till late, just so to give you a little background. I didn't join till 23. Before that, I had a lot of problems in the street. I was doing bad things. I was getting a lot of trouble. You wouldn't know that today, but if I showed you old pictures, you'd be like, that's Paul. I've been sober now for 24 years. Thank you. When I got sober, I had a son that I needed to provide for. I wasn't really doing well. Me and his mother had broken up. And so I was working a lot of dead-end jobs. I was working 2 minimum wage jobs back to back. So that led me to joining the military after 2 years of sobriety. So I had to lose almost 100 pounds to join the military. I was severely overweight because, getting sober, I replaced my addiction of drinking and using drugs and stuff to eating. And so I had to lose all this weight, which I did. Did that. And when I got out of the military, I was trying to find my place. I had this record, so it wasn't really allowing me to do a lot of jobs. It was like haunting me until this awesome judge I went in front of, and he expunged it. So I could say that publicly because it was expunged. And he said, you know what? You served our country in combat. You deserve a second chance. So with that, I decided, I wanted to find. So I went to Cerritos Community College to use my GI Bill because I wanted to stay in LA because my son and his mom were here. And that's where I found theater. I took a theater class. I just wanted something easy. And I fell in love with acting. Okay, so I was already 30 years old when I started. So that long story is going somewhere. The point is I was 30 and I found what I truly loved, the passion of acting. And what I wanted to create this podcast for was for people out there watching that are sitting at home, that are like chilling, that maybe don't have their life together yet, but they know they want something. I want them to be able to find it. And then how do you go get it? That nobody teaches you. So for me, I had to just get out there, start taking acting class, go to New York, train in New York. Then I started meeting people and I started a theater company. And today my network's different. I do know a lot of people and anybody could do anything. So with you guys, I want to start digging into that as trainers, business owner, manager, director. What message you have for people that are like, I don't know what it is I want to do, or if I know what it is, where do I find the motivation to do it?
I think anybody can do it. They just have to want it. Maybe I didn't mention this at the beginning, but when I first started, I think I told you I was going from doing Uber, Lyft. I had a few real estate here and there deals, but nothing major, right? So when the camp opportunity presented itself to me, I literally, and I say this all the time, I literally put it all in black. I literally maxed out all my credit cards to do this. So had this opportunity not worked, we would have been done. So it goes to show that anybody can get ahead in life. They just have to want it. It's not easy.
Like that.
Being an entrepreneur, being in management, or anything of what we do here is not easy, but you have to want it.
Got it. I like that.
I'd like to add on to that, right? I feel like I think I tell some of the challengers, right? If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So I think life's all about risk. So if you don't take those risks and kind of push yourself to do things, then you're never going to know what your limits are and how far you're going to keep going. Because I'm sure if you ask any entrepreneur, business owner, I'm sure Robert could tell you he was scared, right? Yeah. And without fear, there's no success. If it was very happy and too good to be true, usually those things don't happen to be success stories. Yeah. So that's kind of just my take on that.
100%.
I like that.
Yeah. And I think just tapping back in and taking risk. I decided to do this fire stuff 2 years ago. I'm in my late 20s. I was when I was trying to look into going back to school, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna take a big hit, because I was working 2 jobs. I was working at camp. I was working Starbucks, hustling, doing what I have to do. And I was just kind of tired of being tired. I want more. I was like, but what am I going to do to get there. So I got into, the fire stuff, had to go back to school a little bit, get my EMT. And just when I got accepted to the fire academy, I was like, I gotta get with it. It's like, it's all or nothing now. It's like, if I want it this bad, then I got accepted, then I gotta start even training myself physically even more. It's about taking risks and wanting it. And it's just like, I was tired of being tired.
Yeah.
If you want more, like, go get it.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to happen by you just standing there.
Right.
Attitude is very important. I think attitude opens doors for you. It has for me. We do make the right decisions, but a lot of it is attitude. I feel that opens doors for you, because if you got a great attitude, you can work anywhere. Right. Doors will just open for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, I love you guys are like, actually, it's great because you guys just brought perspective in for me today. So that's why I love doing these things. I love doing interviews and stuff because obviously it's for the people, but it's also for myself, and it helps me a lot. It's when I think back of my time in the military and what boot camp was, that's exactly what boot camp is. It breaks you down of what you've learned over the years, strips you completely down, and then builds you up, right? Yeah. And what do? We're up at 0400. We make our racks. We're racking out. Beds are made. Bouncing quarters off them. We're shaving. We're in the head. We're in the bathroom. Shower. You got 10 minutes. Shower, shave, get everything done. Everything is very structured. You're eating breakfast by 04:30. Everything's structured, and there's a reason, right? It's what you're saying. It's in boot camp by 6 a.m. You've won so many battles. You've made your bed, you've showered, you shaved, you've got dressed, you're uniformed, you're tucked in, your gig is right. I mean, you're squared away, and you're confident, and I lost that. So just hearing that, it's great. It like reinstills to me, like, I also heard turning fear into faith. That's fantastic. That's incredible. I heard taking those steps, right? Attitude, and one problem I have with society, I'm a big hip hop buff, no bashing hip hop. I love hip hop, grew up in New York. But the problem I have with and I'm going to say because I see myself as a hip hop head, is the narration that I did this on my own, started from the bottom now, where like everything we do, like I don't need nobody, like this Tony Montana Scarface falsehood, which is not real life. And I wish young people knew, and that was a message that was important for me. Bro, it takes a village no matter what you do. There is no such thing of I did this on my own. You can have that mentality in the gym, yes, because you are doing fitness on your own with the community. But in life, if you're likable, if you got a good attitude, if people want you around, so many opportunities open up. But if you just go through life like, yo, I don't need nobody, I got this, it's like, oh, you're going to really be broke? Yeah. You're going to, right? Yeah. It's not real. You're not really this flashy. Takes a village. It takes a good attitude. It takes positive thinking, positive output, and you see all that come back. So I heard a lot of good stuff there, and I like that. So thank you, guys.
I just want to add on, like you said, you can't just get places without other people by thinking that you can do it all yourself. I'm sure Robert,
it's a team effort.
That. Yeah, team. Exactly. It takes a team effort. Destiny, the same way she was mentored with Robert, and me being in the position I am now here with the camp as assistant director, I definitely couldn't have done it without Destiny, mentoring me, and also just building those relationships with other people. Being likable with everyone here at the camp, it definitely does help you with connecting with everyone.
Man, I love it. That's what it's really all about. If you're at home and you're thinking about, I want to do something, take some of this into consideration. I want to kind of go down this line saying that if you're saying, how do I get somewhere? Lay said that she came in, she was, out of high school, came with her mom. That just coming into a gym with her mom and working out and seeing people that she recognized turned into 4 weeks later, her getting a job as a trainer. And 6 years later, her being an amazing trainer who has helped transform many lives, inspired many people, continues to. And now she's also pursuing her firefighting dream. But it still started with just coming into the gym. The mental health part of everything we do, fitness and everything, is knowing that you're winning no matter what. Even if you have a setback, you're a winner because you're trying. And that's important with the attitude, is knowing that as long as you're trying, I mean, there is no losing and there's no losers. And that's not cliche, that's true. It's important to have that attitude that everything, and that's why even if just making your bed or brushing your teeth sounds funny, but that's a win. There's a lot of people that skip that toothbrush. So just brushing those gums and taking care of your hygiene is a win. But
I think I just want to say, don't let society tell you that you can't do it, because you can. You know, whether it's like life or in the fitness industry. Just again, me being one of the only females in my fire academy, I had someone tell me to my face that I wasn't going to be able to push that ladder, and I did. Wow. So I can forever remember that I can do it. And to any person, no matter what size, what color, gender, you can't do it, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't.
Like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I think it's love yourself and know that you're worthy of achieving your goals. That's kind of my message. Like, always reach for your goals and just love yourself and take care of yourself throughout the way.
I would like to really just add, because you had mentioned that there's people who really beat themselves up for their losses. And every Monday when we bring people in on the challenge, you know, maybe they had a bad weekend, they drank more beers than they should have, or they had a few cheat meals. And, you know, the numbers don't lie. We do end up seeing the scale goes up. But it's really important that anyone out there can remember that the scale doesn't define you, your losses don't define you. And as long as you make those extra steps to get back to where you really want to, and remember your why, remember why you're on a transformation challenge, or you have some type of goal, remember why you're doing it, so that way you can bounce back from those mistakes.
It's always about the comeback.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As the man that made this happen here in Camp Downey, and who has other ventures going on, and you got the family, and you're bouncing some severe responsibilities. Yes. And what's next? What do you have in the works now? I think there's Easy Oats. Is that that's something you're able to talk about?
It's another project that I'm working on. You know, several years ago, the lady who makes the product, she was asking me a lot of questions, and she had no business experience. So I kind of guided her and helped her out, and now she works for herself. And I've always told her throughout the years, this product needs to be in the supermarkets.
Yeah.
And so right now I get chills just thinking about it, but we've already went to a couple shows, and the product is now getting the attention because there's nothing out there that's made out of oatmeal, that's tortillas, tostadas, sopes, all that stuff.
And delicious, by the way.
Very good, and it's healthy. So, we're still working on that. But I think we're onto something big there.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's called Easy Oats. I think people could Google it.
Yes.
We could put up something, like a link.
Okay.
People could look into it. So Easy Oats, and we'll put up other links too. All right, guys, I want to close this out. I hope you got something out of today's episode. I know I did. Super inspired. One thing I do want to say is we talked about doing things on your own in the last thing, and we talked about a village. Remember, it doesn't just take a village for you to be successful. You are part of that village. So when we say, it takes a village, it means us too, meaning you're bringing something to that table. Get out of that mind frame that I'm in this alone and I could take on the world alone. Like Elon Musk does it alone. Like Elon Musk has like an army of geniuses under him. I don't want to sound like I'm somebody talking. I'm just throwing out my opinions. But I think when I hear a village, I used to hear like it takes a village for me to have success. Like I need people. No, it takes a village means I bring something to that table. So if we all come together, including your talents, imagine the things we could get done in life together. And I think that's what we witnessed in this episode. We witnessed people, trainers, managers, owners, directors, that come together. And a camper myself who comes to this gym has been affected by this gym, and it actually gets me emotional. So I hope you got some inspiration, and thank you for hanging with the Camp Downey.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.